Hey guys, Chris from Provo Beast Audio Installation, and in today's video we're going to be replace the factory radio on this 2017 Toyota 4Runner. Now in this install we're going to show you how to remove the factory unit. We'll head to the bench, show you the parts that we're going to use for the install, including the new radio, dash kit, and wiring harness. We'll come back here to get everything installed. Let's get started. Now, before we get started, couple of things to note. There are some various trim differences available within this generation 4Runner, and the biggest thing is whether you have the JBL audio sound system or not. Generally, that's indicated on the radio. You'll see a JBL logo here. You'll see logos on the door panels, or the biggest clue would be the OEM subwoofer in the cargo area. If you don't have any of those things, then generally that is a bass trim audio sound system. And that is what we have here today. We don't have JBL, so we don't have to worry about retaining it. Secondly, even though we have the non-JBL audio sound system, we still have other features we want to retain, like factory USB port, OEM backup camera, and we have steering wheel volume controls on the steering wheel for the radio that we want to ensure that works perfectly when we install our new aftermarket head unit. With all that being said, we'll cover the parts to make that happen once we get to the bench. First thing we need to do is get this OEM radio out. It's actually rather simple here. All you'll really need is potentially some vinyl trim panel removal tools, as well as a 10mm socket. First thing we're going to do is grab this trim up and around our heating and air control knobs. Now, you can just use your hands and kind of work it out. Slowly pop this out without scratching the panel. Now, generally they come separate, but it looks like it's pulling our heating and air controls as well, and that's okay. Usually it comes in two separate pieces, and we can separate this here, just like that. Just a couple of clips on the back. Next thing here, we're going to have these heating and air controls. If they didn't come with the trim already, again, they just pop down. You could also just put it down below, and that's fine as well. Now, if you do disconnect it, you'll have an anchor clip here for the harness that you'll have to unsnap. There we go. Now, what that's going to do is expose 1, 2, 3, 4 10mm bolts underneath the radio, and then everything up above is just clips. Okay, with those out, I'm going to just kind of grab this and kind of give it a shake. Now your radio is going to have quite a few harnesses connected to the back of it, as you can see. Each one is going to have a little locking tab. You just press the tab in and pull, and it should come on out. Disconnect everything on the back of the radio. We had quite a few harnesses here, and also a tab that holds in that harness to the back of the radio. With all those disconnected, we have this entire assembly. We're going to take this with us over to the bench here. We do need to rob a couple of pieces off this panel. So aside from that, that's about it here in the car. Let's head to the bench to show the parts that we're going to need for our install. Alright, so we're here at the bench. Now the parts that we're using in today's install, first and foremost, is the radio that the customer wants us to install. It's this JVC KWM 785BW. It's a wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto radio with a ton of other nice, cool features. There is an upgraded, newer generation now that's available on the market, and we can also link that in the description. Now, our trim radio doesn't have JBL, obviously, but it does have this really nice factory glossy black finish. So Metra fortunately makes a dash kit to match that same color and style. Now they also do make a flat black and a silver as well. We can link those alternatives in the description for you. The kit that we're going with is the Metra 99-8271 CHG. It's a high gloss charcoal finish for this generation. Again, there's a couple other different finishes, so you can match it as close as possible. Now, in order for us to retain our factory features on the new radio, there are a couple of different harness options on the market. This one specifically by Crux is going to retain a ton of stuff for us. It's not only going to retain the wiring connections for the new radio, but it's going to retain the USB, our AM FM antenna connection, our steering wheel volume controls, even the backup camera will flow through this harness. Now, if you have JBL, you're going to need the JBL version of this harness, and we can link that in the description. It doesn't include all the bits and pieces that this one does, but we can link those out as well in case you have JBL and you want to follow this install. Alright, so we've prepped our harnesses here. This is the harness that came with our JVC radio. This is our Crux harness here. If you're always wondering what harnesses will plug into your vehicle on this end, take them inside, go see what plugs in. We notice we won't need this little dongle adapter that's included here. We've used this before, but not on a 4Runner, so we don't need this in our install here today. But you'll notice there's a ton of different wires, and if you're wondering what wire does what, Crux does a really good job about identifying the actual function of the wire versus just relying on the color alone. Most major brands, it will be color for color. However, some minor brands or no-name brands, they don't like to follow industry standard. Sometimes colors do change, so verify the function before you start connecting those colors. We've preloaded our heat shrink on our JVC side, and we're going to solder these connections. But again, if you don't know how to solder, don't have the means to do so, you can use the crimp method using butt connectors, or even better, crimp caps. Just don't twist and tape or use wire nuts. They're just not designed for an automotive application. Okay, so we went ahead and soldered up our wires here. Now we're fortunate because JVC is a major brand and it was color for color. Our whites, grays, greens, and purples. Our 8 wires here are our speaker wires, and those all match color for color. Constant power matched. Now our ground, we added our parking brake into our ground with the JVC Kenwood. You can do that. You can't necessarily do that with all Pioneers and Alpines, but most other brands you can just ground the parking brake. Gives you more access to settings. Then our accessory ignition red wire, we tied in our antennas. Now there's 2 of them. There's a solid blue in our main harness, and then there's one off of this. Whether the amplified antenna circuit runs through one or the other, we just hooked them both up to accessory, just so they both receive power as soon as we turn on the key. And then lastly here, our remote turn-on wire for our circuit here, we also added that in, blue-white. But we also add a little pigtail in case we add an amplifier down the road. We like to do that so we don't have to tear apart the harness to access that wire in case we add an amp. Blue with a yellow stripe, and that is for our steering wheel volume controls. You'll notice in this harness, included with our Crux kit, there's also an aux-looking cable. That's specifically more for radios that have a wired remote or steering wheel control remote input that looks like an aux, and it's indicated as such. But with JVC and Kenwoods, they use a single wire, and that's what we see there. If you have questions about that, we'll cover that a little bit more once we get to the instructions. The ones that we didn't use, our vehicle speed sense. Our radio does not require it for wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, so we'll cap that off. And our reverse gear, we do need it, but it's not pinned on this specific JVC in the main harness. There's a pigtail on the radio itself, so this will connect once we get it all installed later on. Now, next thing here, we're going to move our heat shrink up and over those connections. We'll shrink it down with the heat gun. Then we like to actually loom up our harness with a little bit of high temperature testa tape, just so it has a little bit more protection within the dash. Alright, so we spent some good time here just prepping our harness, making it pretty like we do. All these ends plug into all the harnesses that were originally in the OEM radio. Here's the end that we need to program with these various dip switches based on the radio we're installing, and we'll cover that here in a moment. This is for our steering wheel volume controls. This end plugs into our receiver. Here's our parking brake connection, because again, it's just a dongle on the back of this specific radio, and same with our reverse gear wire. This will trigger the radio to view the camera as soon as we put it in reverse. Here's our camera input feed. We need to connect this to the camera input on the back of the radio. And if you want to keep your aux, this is your aux in connection here. This will go to the aux on the back of the radio. And then here is our OEM USB connections. Keeps that factory USB port functional with use of our new radio. And again, it's included in the box. We're more or less done with this, except for the programming. So grab our instructions here. On our next page, we're going to open this up here. This will tell you how to modify your steering wheel control cable, we use the blue-yellow wire because we're using JVC Kenwood. But again, if you have a radio that doesn't necessarily use that type of setup, shows you how to modify it to make work with your radio. Looking a little closer here, the first thing we need to do is identify the radio we're installing. We're going to go down, we found JVC here. Going off to the right, we have a configuration of off, on, off, on. So that's dip switch 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we'll set this over here. We're going to grab our module here, and you can see dip switch 1, 2, 3, 4. Off is down, off, on, just like so. Now, 5 through 8 is based on the vehicle, and considering that this is all Toyota, there's only one option. 5, 6, 7, and 8 is off, on, off, on. Actually, coincidentally, the same pattern. So, off, on, off, on. This all pre-programs it all, so it should work right out of the box. So with our harness now fully completed, programmed, ready to go, we can set it off to the side. Our next task is we're going to grab our dash kit and radio. We're going to get everything assembled. Before we start assembly, we have to take a bit apart from the OEM radio, including we have to pull out our vents and our little adjustments. First thing we're going to do is unsnap our vents. Okay, once those are out, we need to pull out our harness and our hazard switch. Now it may be attached to the radio still. We'll need this harness. Next here, we can just push this out. We need these little trim pieces that go around the angle adjustment. We transferred over our heating and air controls we had to put in. This included housing for the hazard switch, but that's in here as well. Got our OEM vent indicators all screwed in as well. Now you'll notice our radio doesn't attach directly to the dash. You'll have to go in probably a couple of times and adjust the depth of the radio and your mounting points here so you get the depth correct, because you don't want this too deep or too shallow, or else you'll leave a gap or won't allow the actual dash bezel to fit. So you'll want to go in the car and adjust the depth just so you get a nice clean fit where it's tight and you don't have any gaps up and around the radio. At this point in time, both with our harness done as well as the dash kit prepared, we're going to go install our radio. Now our radio did come with a Bluetooth mic. We like to put this up on the A-pillar. It's as close to the face as we can get. Then we'll run it down through the dash. And then our GPS antenna, we can find a location in the dash as long as it's not under metal. Or we put this on top of the dash. This just needs to see the sky, as this will give us better location accuracy when we're using wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. Let's go ahead and grab our big harness here. We got this all prepared at the bench. Start making our connections. Now we ran our Bluetooth mic and our GPS antenna up on the dash there. We just kind of fished it through the dash, and we'll make those connections at the radio as well. Now with all of this, we're just going to work on tucking it back. We're going to grab our new radio, start making the connections at the radio. Alright, so with all our connections now made here, we're going to just carefully tuck it all back into the dash. Nice thing is this is a shallow mount radio, So there's lots of space behind the dash. Nothing has to get pinched. So we won't need our GPS antenna, but we still need the hazard switch button, dash bezel, and plug that in. Okay. Make sure we'll grab this and plug in these controls for now. Serial volume controls work. We have our backup camera, that's all working and automatically cycling over. And we also retained our USB and did a couple other cool little mods here. Everything's working great, so at this point in time we can snap in our side panels. Alright, there is our new radio bezel. It matches paint-wise really well to the other one. So that's about it for this install. If you have any questions on what we did here, go ahead and post a comment below. If you like this radio or any of the parts that we use, we'll link it and anything recommended for your install in the description of this video. Thanks again for watching. Hit the like button if you liked what you saw, and don't forget to subscribe. We post great content on the channel all the time, and we'll see you in the next video.